What is a better way to describe a cube other than its construct? That line is pragmatic, and yet it also romanticizes the real. It's a testament to a character representative of the empty promises that come with the American dream, as it seems many films this year have been excited to get into. But before I get to that, let me get to the drink I'm drinking so that I can talk in front of a camera. The drink this week is Florida's natural orange juice. And Florida is famous for its orange juice because it does have oranges. And it says it's a communal orange farm. And usually when they say communal, they mean that they don't pay people very much and they make them pick oranges for them. But it's pretty good. And I really like orange juice a lot. And my sister's boyfriend is from Florida, so maybe he knows something about orange juice. So maybe I'll ask him someday about orange juice. A little behind the scenes, it's been a little while since I shot the first part, so that orange juice is watered down. The Brutalist is a throwback 4-hour classic American epic centering a Jewish man fresh from the scars of post-war Europe and Soviet reconstruction. It follows his journey from homeless beggar to international icon through the lens of his relationship with Harrison Van Buren. Yes, that Van Buren. First of all, I knew I was going to like this film when I found out it was 4 hours long. Love me a 4-hour movie. I wish that films would take the leap of faith and break out of the 2-hour time zone. Whether that's 1 hour or 4 hours, I feel like it's always best to prioritize the story and work within what's best for that. From the beginning, Brady Colbert was able to cast a striking image. From the beginning, Brady Colbert was able to cast a striking image through the powerful use of lighting during the film. He didn't forget the forgettables. The sound editing, music, lighting, set design, all of these things are not just important as a matter of lip service, but I think they are genuinely just as important as actors or writers themselves. Filmmakers that understand that are great, and filmmakers that don't are not great. These things interact like family, and good film editing or music can enhance a performance or be a detriment to it. But forget that for a second, because actually I want to talk about the acting performances. Adrien Brody gives the performance of his career, of his life, of many other lives, of anyone else's life, of your life, of my life. It's one of the best performances that I've ever seen, and it's one of the best performances that I think I will ever see. He's an emotional powerhouse. His desolation, you can feel it from his gut. Speaking of, and his character absolutely pulls the rug out from under you. He's so full of life, his intellect is so effortless, and yet he knows he lacks a foundation to stand on. If there's one thing to take from the film, it's him. Not just the actor, but the character is so beautiful. His counterpart, Guy Pearce, is also not to be forgotten. Not to be forgotten. Pearce has edged a successful career in filmmaking, starring in many classic films. I have to admit, though, through my time with him, I have not thought of him in that upper echelon of actors. And through this performance, I do believe that I was mistaken. His rage in this film and his ultimate charisma left me just speechless. It was their relationship that turned the film into fireworks, and it was the runtime that allowed it really to develop in the way that it needed to, and it felt like a natural course of action through the ups and downs of their lives. In many instances, Brady Colbert was able to use shadows as opposed to lighting the characters, and that worked very well. And let me tell you why that is awesome. It requires a significant amount of trust between the actor and the director, because the actors have to trust that the director is going to make the best filmmaking decisions they can and get the best out of their performance. Because if an actor doesn't have a face, it relies on them to work with their body and their voice. And the director has to trust that the actor can do that well, which is hard and takes a lot of pre-production and a lot of thinking through. But the brilliant thing about Brady Colbert's lighting in this film is that it offers just a shed of light every 3 seconds, every 5 seconds, randomly a piece of light here, an eye here, a mouth here, an ear here. It makes it so that it's like the Jaws effect, but finding their emotion. You can see like morally and like symbolically what they're going for, and yet also it's a very exciting performance because you're not necessarily sure what you're going to get from it. Really, this is some of the best lighting I've ever seen. It's definitely some of the best lighting I've ever seen. The music, oh my god. It had a gut-wrenching bombasticity, like a choir of dying souls from hell. Playing off of classic scores from past historical epics, this film was able to play with the idea by introducing horrific and fearful undertones. It reflected the uncertainty and dread of the times while also elevating the film's success and masking a mere $10 million budget. I have to reiterate, this is a beautiful, beautiful film, especially with a $10 million budget. Have you seen some of the $200 million blockbusters coming out these days? They are ugly. They are ridiculous. They use no time on visual effects. And that's the only thing that you offer when you get up to that kind of film like price range. Like the MCU stuff, like that's garbage. What do they offer the world if not beautiful visual effects? Like, I mean, Avatar, that's something. But other than Avatar, what the fuck is the point? Just make a good movie then. The cinematography was inventive, it was epic, it was poignant, and it was emotional. It typically had an interest in roads and in cars that I found particularly insightful. Also, not to flex, but I got to see this film in 35 millimeters, so there was only one defining problem I had with the rest of the film, and that was there was a certain sexual scene that I'm not going to get into for spoiler reasons, but it happens near the end of the film, and I felt that that was pretty abrupt and not necessarily the right way of doing things. In concept, I actually think it could have worked, but maybe it could have used a little more build up, and the surprise just felt I don't know, like it was thrown in there. But as a whole, this is one of the best films I've seen all year, and I think it's one of the best character studies I've seen in my entire life. It almost had me crying at the end of it, not just because it was emotional, but just because it was so beautiful that I wanted to cry. And I like to cry in films. I know some people don't cry in movies, but I cry all the time. I'm gonna give this movie an Oogway. Oh yeah, and Felicity Jones was really good also, and there was also this one guy that played Mr. Van Buren's son. He was very good too, and I'm sure I'm gonna see more of him soon. And I would like to see more of you soon too, whoever you are watching this at the end of the video. I want to see you. So, come see me. Oh, I love you.